everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I will explain you about the atomic structure. We often get confused about the terms atom and the molecule. I hope after watching the video, you will be able to understand what I explain in the video. So let's start. First, we will see that what the word atom means and where does it derive from. The word atom comes from a Greek word atomos, which means indivisible. The word atom was coined by the Greek philosopher Democritus. So, the word atom was a Greek word which was spelled as atomos, and it was coined by the Greek philosopher Democritus. So, now the definition of the atom is: an atom is the smallest particle that exhibits the properties of that element. So, it is the smallest particle of an element which exhibits the properties of that element. Exhibits means displays. So, it displays the properties of that element. So, ahead we can see that an atom contains 3 subatomic particles, means it has 3 parts. Still it can be divided and it has 3 parts. So let's read. Atoms contain particles known as subatomic particles or fundamental particles. So in atoms there is one more division, which means that it contains still particles, 3 particles, and the names are electrons, protons and neutrons. So you would be thinking, why have I put the signs after the names? They are nothing but the charges of the subatomic particles. So the electrons are negatively charged. I have written the minus sign ahead of electrons. So they are negatively charged, and protons are positively charged, and neutrons are neutrally charged. They have no charges, neither plus nor minus, so they are neutrally charged. So I have written there no. So now let's read about the location of these subatomic particles. In the center of the atom, protons and neutrons form a tiny central core called the nucleus. So, in the center of the atom, when the protons and neutrons combine, they form a tiny central core, which is called as the nucleus. You will be able to understand after you understand in a diagram. Let me show you. So, in this diagram, you can see in the lowest part I have written P and N, and I have drawn many circles in that. So the P ones are the protons and the N ones are the neutrons. You can see I have also labeled in the diagram here and also here. Now you can see that outside the protons and neutrons there is one circle, and that circle is the nucleus. See, this one is the nucleus. You can see I have also put the arrow and the labeling. So after that we can see 2 more circles. They aren't the nucleus, they are the orbits in which the electrons move randomly. The innermost circle is the nucleus. In the orbits, the electrons move randomly around the neutrons and the electrons, or we can say around the nucleus. So in the diagram, the 2 circles which are surrounding the nucleus are called orbits, in which electrons are present, that I have already explained you in the diagram. Now, points to note. Atoms of an element are identical, but the atoms of one element are different from those of other elements. Now we will see the characteristics of an atom. So, the atoms of most elements are very reactive and do not exist as free atoms. It means the atoms which are present in the elements are reactive. So they do not exist as free atoms. They combine with other atoms. They can combine with the atoms of the same element or the different element. They exist in combination and of the same element or other elements. For example, hydrogen atoms do not exist as single atoms. They are found in combination with atoms of hydrogen or other elements. However, the atoms of noble gases exist as single atoms. So in this characteristic, they are trying to say that the atoms of an element are reactive, so they do not exist as free atoms. They are in combination with the atoms of the same element or a different element. For example, two atoms of hydrogen. I will show you in a whiteboard. Here, I will draw two atoms of hydrogen. I have drawn two separate atoms of hydrogen. Now, they are telling that the atoms of hydrogen are very reactive. So, always in combination with other atoms. So, you can see this is the first atom, this is the second atom. So, the first atom is also of hydrogen and the second atom is also of hydrogen. Now, the first atom is this and the second atom is this. Both are of hydrogen and they are atoms. Remember that they are the atoms. So, in the properties it was given that they do not stay single. They are always in combination. Why? Because they are reactive. So, the first atom will combine with the second atom and the diagram would appear like this. Here, you can see that there are two atoms of hydrogen combined together. So, they are reactive, so they do not stay single and they are combined together. So, in this way, it can combine with oxygen also. For example, here it is combined with oxygen. So, hydrogen is reactive and it combined with oxygen. So, here also it showed its characteristic that it cannot stay single. It combines with other elements, other atoms of different element or same element, any one of them. So I hope you have understand this one. Now the last line. However, the atoms of noble gases exist as single atoms. So which are the noble gases? You can say argon, krypton, xenon, radon, etc. So the atoms of that element which I spoke right now exist as single atoms. So now we move to the next characteristic. All atoms of an element are identical. Therefore, the properties of an element depend on the atoms constituting the element. For example, a lump of gold consists of only one type of atoms. They exhibit the same properties. So, in this characteristic, they are trying to tell the properties of an element depend on the atoms constituting the element. So, the atoms of an element are identical. For example, a lump of gold consists of only one type of atoms. They exhibit the same property. For example, a lump of gold consists of one type of atoms. I can give you another example. You can take a piece of magnet and now you can place a piece of iron in front of it. So, you know what happens. What is the reaction? It will attract towards it, right? So, now in the second step, you break the magnet into two pieces and take the another half piece and keep it in the front of iron. So, what it will do? Attract, right? Though it is broken, it is attracting. Why? Because all atoms of an element are identical. So, they are attracting towards each other. Now we move to the third property. Atoms of one element are different from those of other elements. Now this is a simple statement and you can understand by yourself that the atoms of an element are different from those of other elements. For example, the atoms of an element the atoms of the element gold are different from the atoms of the element silver. They have different properties. Now you can understand that it is just a simple statement. So now we move to the fourth one. An atom maintains its properties throughout all physical and chemical changes. For example, a piece of iron has the property of being attracted towards a magnet. So in the second one I had shown you that if you break the magnet then into two pieces, then also it would attract. So it maintains its properties throughout all physical and chemical changes. So that's it for today. So if you have doubt, then you can comment down in the section below. And if you like the video, then press on the like button and subscribe my channel.